Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of building our facades for Diagon Alley. So in case you missed it, so far we have done our facade of Holly's apartment from Breakfast at Tiffany's, an alternate entrance to Diagon Alley, as well as Grimald Place, which of course is 3 individual buildings all in a row. The dark bluish gray is of course 12 Grimald Place, and then it'll open up in the movie, in the story, and the nougat ones will be on either side of it. So let's see what we're going to be working on today. So I've just been sorting some parts, getting some of my stuff ready, and today I will be building the full house facade. Here is my original little sketch. It is just terrible, but I think I know what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, it's not good. But anyway, in my mind, I know what I'm doing at least. When I started sketching, I played around with some parts before I had to order some stuff. This, I believe, is going to be my garage door, actually. It's not actually going to be functional, obviously, because it is a facade, so I'm not too concerned. But I believe that's what I'm going to be using. I may have to alter it a bit. Some of these little elements are going to be on the detailing up towards the roof. And yeah, I've got some random odds shaped plates, lots of tiles, some masonry bricks, all kinds of random stuff. Gonna be using lots of snot for this build. This red door, which was very hard to come by. It is not current. And some inverted slopes and some arches and all kinds of good stuff. Obviously, I'll be picking some parts from our inventory as I go along as well. So I started on the building, and I remembered that I had ordered dark tan bricks to replace those dark bluish gray. So I rebuilt it, and then it occurred to me that the garage is actually too wide for the total width that I have to work with for this build. I tried a whole bunch of ways, nothing really worked. So in the end, I just had to use 1x1 bricks in the dark tan, and I ended up cutting this by 3 studs in width, so it doesn't look how I'd like it to look for the garage, but it is what it is. Just have to remember this is a facade and this isn't an actual functioning garage. I've been working away. So far I have my little brick staircase. My door is just sort of chilling there. My garage door, as well as all of my snot kind of going up the side. There's not going to be a whole lot of support until we get to the top of this side, unfortunately. And I started working on my window. I'm sort of building it and then I'm going to install it. I've come to the realization that once this gets clipped in, this panel here and the panel that will be here are in the way. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is put this whole part onto jumpers. I don't know if this is going to work with my overall plan. I might have to test it and see how it goes. But if I stick this part on either end on jumpers, then it'll kind of inset it a bit and it won't stick out so much from the wall. Either that, or I'm going to have to play with the design of the window. The actual building is very detailed, and obviously I won't be able to make it quite as detailed, and that's okay. I have it on one of these odd plates, and then I've got hinge plates, all these window elements. And actually, because my garage is such an odd size, it is 7 studs. I actually had to put it on jumpers in order for this to fit in the middle of it. So I started building it, and I was building just the window, and then I went to go install the wall panel and realized that it's not going to work very well. So I've got to think that through. I might have to change a few things. I'm not too sure yet before I get a little too ahead of myself. I'm going to have to sort that out. I don't want to have to change this window because this is exactly how I had planned it. And it works, it looks perfect. So I need to try and alter the wall instead of the window. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm chipping along. I like this brick staircase here with the dark red masonry bricks. I also just wanted to point out that like it wouldn't be impossible to have it the way it is right now. However, the windows have to straighten a bit more, and that's not how I want it. I want them to have more curve in them, right? I want it to be like that, but it would have to be like almost straight in order for it to work, and that's sort of defeats the whole purpose, right? So I figured it out. I did end up putting jumpers where we have like our big snot panels. We're gonna have to make it all stick together at the end, I guess, because there's just big panels here. I did actually figure out how to make my garage a little bit bigger, not my original design, but it's a bit bigger than what I had it, so I think that works. I did make it a bit bigger, and it's still on, the windows are still kind of sitting on it the same way. I did change a couple details that I have in the window. I used these cylinders just for a little added detail. I've got my door all set up. I was hoping to have more of a, you know, grand entrance and like large, like multiple pillars, because there should actually be 2 on either side, but I'm just working with the space I have. It's working out. So I started working on this upper window and realized that I was adding more detail than I originally had planned. So long story short, we ended up extending this entire building by 1 more stud. And here is the final result. So as you can see, I have my slightly larger garage than what I started with. My just enormous, pretty detailed window. We've got another window over here that kind of matches in some detail. Not as grand of an entrance that I would have liked. There should be more pillars, but it's fairly basic. This is all snot brick, and then I've just got white pillars on either side. Then I just used these, like, I call them teeth plates. Then I've got rail plates above that. Then I took these arches here and turned them around and used them as detailing on the top. Then here, this is actually snot brick, jumper, and then some plates, and then I tiled the end of it, and I did it all the way around to do that detailing there. And then this roof here, I didn't have the light bluish gray, whatever that is, like odd corner. So dark gray will have to do. I'll be honest, it's not the most structurally sound or technically correct Lego build I've done, but it is what it is. I made it work. I know that technically these should have been hinge bricked to the wall itself. I did use hinge plates to actually create the window, but then I used all sorts of weird technique to actually latch it on. And like I said earlier, I actually have the tan part on jumpers. The white part is not. So as I got to the top, I actually had to throw in some jumpers to make them at the same level, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's not, you know, technically correct. It's not as sturdy as my other facades, but it is what it is. And I think with the window, I've got a decent amount of detail. There is a lot of detail on the window and just the building itself in the actual full house building, the house. So I think I did a decent job. And as we turn around, you'll see like it doesn't have the greatest support, and it's all sorts of weird things. Just like here, I don't know. I had to play around with this thing so much. Like this is jumper on jumper on jumper, which you would think should actually just be like a 2x2 jumper, but apparently not. It's just very, very weird. So yeah, like we got our different depth there because of the jumper. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Very, very random building technique used, but oh well. Got this nice dark red masonry brick staircase to just represent a nice brick staircase. Here are a couple photos of what my inspiration is of the Full House TV show, house/building. So here's our facade, and turned out pretty good, I think. And this, of course, will be covering Diagon Alley on Pop Culture Street in the Lego City. It took a lot longer than I had anticipated. It was a lot more work than my other facades, but the end product was pretty good, if I must say so myself. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content coming out, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.